With any of these interviews, have you had an athlete or former athlete gets really choked up that needs like almost like a break?
Most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them.
And is it surprising? Like they don't even realize it's coming and it's just something you trip on?
They all have that. There's something there in their life. It could be their mom. It could be their dad. It could be something that happened. There's a trigger. There's a button. And if you get there. Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller's sister, who might have been the greatest women's basketball player I ever saw. She's certainly in the conversation. She was an athlete. One of the first female athletes I saw playing basketball. She could play with the boys, hit jumpers. She was a bad dude. She played like, a guy and was not afraid of anybody. But she always fought for her father's love and acknowledgement and never got that. But her mom died, and I showed her a picture of that with her gold medal put around her mom, and then, she lost it because she had lost her mom. Rod Woodson got emotional. I mean, he grew up in a household in Indiana, and the KKK burned down his home when he was growing up. He was in a mixed, his parents of mixed race. There are moments. George Brett, one of the great hitters of all time. His father that was the common theme with a lot of these athletes. They did not get love from their father. And George Brett was another one. Like, he just wanted his dad to say, "You're great." That's it. Cheryl Miller wanted that acknowledgement from her dad. Oscar De La Hoya. That's all he wanted. I just want my dad to say I'm great or I'm proud of you. And a lot of them were driven by that, which I found really interesting. It's not a common thread, but it was there more than it wasn't with, these people I interviewed. And I did 10 of the interviews. Yeah, Paul.
And this goes back to the topic of with your kids, letting them win, how much you push them in sports. I wonder if the high-end athletes, their fathers or parents, push them a little bit harder, and once in a while that ends up being an all-time great athlete, but maybe not great for the relationship.
Yeah, and there is, addition and subtraction with something like that I might have, driven you to be a better athlete, but you may have lost something, in that process. Or I wasn't the father that I should have been.
How many times has Dale Earnhardt Jr. talked on this show saying he just wanted to hang out with his dad, and he got into racing because he knew if I become a race car driver, I could hang out at the shop with Dad. Yeah. I could hang out at the track with Dad. He didn't specifically want to race cars. He wanted to hang out with his dad, and racing cars was the way to do it.
Jim Palmer, talked to him. He grew up, he was adopted. So not knowing your parents, it goes back. You don't realize the importance you play as a parent. You just don't. Sometimes after the fact, and your kids will tell you what was really important, and you'll miss it. You'll miss it in the moment because you're busy, with everything else, with life. But the amazing part of these athletes is their ability to remember. Like, all I wanted to do was have my dad say, "I'm proud of you." George Brett wanted that from his dad. His dad was dying, and he took him through the help of the Yankees. So George, of course, was a Yankee nemesis. Through the help of the Yankees, Mr. Steinbrenner rented a car. George brought his dad back to go into the neighborhood, in Brooklyn neighborhood, and, wanted him to come back one more time and, experience the neighborhood. And he said the Yankees reached out to help me with my father. And he said, I just wanted my dad to be proud of what I did and who I am. And he said, you just want peace. You want that. And Cheryl Miller saying, to not get it, or Oscar De La Hoya to say, I didn't get it. But it did make them better because they constantly tried to be better just so they would acknowledge them. So it's rewarding to be able to sit there.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.